ready to start creating a part, you're going to go up to the blue icon up here, blue button, and click on Document. You can then name your document. So I'm going to call this Fundamental 1. What do I missed out? I missed out the A, and click Enter to basically create my document. It will then load up a new workspace. Okay, and this is basically a 3D space that you're going to be creating your part in. What we have in the middle here are our planes. So if you think of a 3D cuboid, that will have a top, a bottom, a right, left, and a front, and a back face. Okay, and that is kind of what these are. Basically splitting it in half if you imagine the cuboid, or splitting into sections, sorry. And in the very center of that cuboid, you have got your origin. All right, so these planes are going to be very useful for when you are sketching on things. And when you start making products, you'll think about where you want to start from. Are you going to start sketching on the front plane, the top? What is going to be best for you? And these are also represented in the model tree, or the model tree will be down here, but above the model tree, as you can see. And we can turn these planes on and off by clicking the eyeball to make it a little bit easier to see what you are doing. So if you're going to start on the top, you may want to just have the top face like so. You have 3D modeling parts up here. So these will make more sense when you get more comfortable with it. There's lots of different types of 3D modeling, but you'll basically turn a 2D sketch into something that is 3D by using these up here. In order to sketch, you will click on the sketch function, create new sketch, and it will ask you to select a plane. So as I said, let's start on the top. I'll select that plane, and it now shows that I'm sketching on the top plane, and it goes kind of like a lime color to show us. We can have the option of any type of sketch, pretty much, or a combination. So a very simple one, if we go with our rectangle, we could use the drop down to choose different types of rectangles. Same with the circle, same with our arc, same with our line. There's lots of different types that we can do. Just as a demonstration now, I'm going to use a center rectangle, and I'm going to hover over my origin, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to make that rectangle there like so. In terms of what we can do next, we can either cancel that and get rid of it. I'll show you quickly. It gets rid of it, there's nothing there. Or what you'll probably want to do is you'll want to have your rectangle and you'll want to green tick it. Okay. Now, in terms of making this 3D, just to basically help with some of our movements in a second, I'm going to click on the extrude tool, and I'm going to click on the green tip up here, okay, because it has extruded this part by a certain distance. Now, this is going to help us to understand moving around the document. We're looking at it from a kind of trimetric perspective. Okay, and what I mean by trimetric is we have got different types. Dimetric is going to be slightly lower, but from the corner facing it, isometric is going to be slightly higher, looking at it from a perfect isometric angle. These are quite useful for you to be able to see. But you probably don't want to have to click over there. You want to be able to move around more organically. So you can use the right mouse button, you can click and hold the right mouse button, and you can drag your part around or orbit around the shape. Okay, and that allows us to see it from different angles. That is the very basics of using the workspace, naming a document. You don't need to save this document. Okay, you can click on the Go To Documents, and because it's in the cloud, it will save that automatically. Okay, you might have multiple parts when you have different parts. Sorry, when you have different products or different parts to a product, but it will save all of them, and you can come back into here, and it will work nice